Yo guys, word up, check it out, check it out. Hey, another day, another video. This finger's hurting. I don't know what happened to me. I got a splinter in it. It's not a big deal, but it's just a bit annoying. Anyway, so that's a sidetrack. So this video, again, I'm looking for my records. I had a particular one in mind. I thought to myself, I'll play, I'll do a little talk about another Aphex type record, but I think I'm running a bit low on the old Aphex. I've still got some to get through, definitely though. We got a lot more, but this time we're going to talk about a Tom Jenkinson, aka Squarepusher record, but this time it's under a different guise that he did use a few other guises, and this was on his Chaos AD. Oh my gosh, what year did this come out? I don't know. I need to remember. I didn't check it. I don't know. Would have been late 90s, I guess, or early 2000s. But look at that. It's a mad front cover, guys. It's a mad front cover. He's got him on the 707 and the SH101 and 303, and he's got this old reel-to-reel tape recorder. So this is literally, I think he had like an Akai or something. And he also had a Boss DR660, which he used for sequencing. A lot of folks probably thought he was doing it on, I don't know what they thought he was doing on, but he used the 660, I think, for a lot of sequencing. So it was all hands-on. And of course, the thing is, you've got to bear in mind, guys, is that this was back in the day where the barriers to entry for, making tunes on hardware, we're talking like maybe 90s up to maybe early 2000s, was still pretty high. You needed a bit of dough to get hold of gear, and certainly vintage stuff, people think it's gone up in price. It has, but equally it was still expensive back then if you take into account the relativity and inflation and all that. It was still had a price to it. Yes, the price has probably gone up tenfold, but it was not cheap nevertheless back then, I would say. Well, depends. Me, I had a 606 back then, which I bought. I didn't have a lot of gear to start with. For a long time, I didn't have a lot of equipment. Just literally had one piece, and believe me, like, I could have done a lot more with that. But anyway, that's another story. But I had a 606 for a very brief time. I think I got it for 90 quid. Played with it for about a week and thought to myself, well, I can't really do anything with this thing. It's got no MIDI. I've got no way of interfacing it with what I've existing stuff I got. So I sent it back, and the guy gave me my money back. But in hindsight, perhaps I should have kept it. I did do some tape recordings of those patterns I created, but I don't know where they are. But anyways, that would have been around maybe 98. I've got a load of drum machines now, but I don't have a 606. Anyway, that's a completely different story. I'm sidetracking too much. So anyway, Chaos AD, this is a pretty crazy record from Tom Jenkinson. Is it one of his best? I'm not sure. It's just a different vibe. It's very DIY, very DIY. It's on Rephlex. You can see on the front cover, it's got loads of C90s tapes that he would have recorded demos onto. At the time, he was sending out demos to all and sundry, trying to get interest. And I don't know how, or he, how he got sort of eventually garnered the interest of Richard and Grant at Rephlex, but he did, and that the rest is kind of history, I guess. But I think he'd put out a few bits and bobs on maybe one or two other labels prior to that, or one release prior to that, and it's his unique style. This is really a very, very kind of dirty kind of DIY style record, as you can see from the front cover. It's a lot of distortion in it, which is not characteristic necessarily of all. Maybe it is there. Overdriving and distortion is in records, but this is quite overt. You can hear it. It's not on some tracks. It's very, very full on. Like there's one track, I forget what it's called, Mind War Electro. No, not that one. That's got distortion on it too. I think it's one of those ones. It's got the distortion so wet that it's like this rasping. It's kind of a mad tune. And when I remember first hearing, I was like, oh my god, that I've never heard anything like it. So yeah, and of course when you distort stuff so heavily, there's not a lot of room in the mix for other things, and it does affect everything else in a way, especially if it's all coming through the same, I don't know. Well, anyway, but yeah, I'm going to play Sultan. No, not Sultan. Apologies. I'm going to play Male Pill Part 6, which I think is the obvious tune to play off this record. For me, it's always been my favourite. There was a remix done of it. It was also by himself as Squarepusher. I don't know where the title Chaos AD came from. I know that was the album name of Sepultura or whatever they are record, but I don't know if it's related. But anyway, this is a very unique sounding record, to say the least. There's some acid tunes on there. There's a lot of kind of irony, and yeah, it's got a nod to Chicago and other bits and bobs, but it's definitely a unique record. So I'll play Male Pill Part 6, and yeah, stay tuned for that part coming up. You guys, take 2 of part 2. I got it wrong, so it's actually, yeah, it is Sultan. The track is Sultan Part 1, as you can see on the record, and that was remixed by Squarepusher himself. It's absolutely peeing down, as you can see. It's really coming down like crazy. So it was nice and sunny, and now we've got the old rain in the UK. Lovely. So let's play this tune, guys, and hope you enjoy. Word up, word up.